about making constructions. Now, in 1.1, the only type of constructions they talk about are if I have a line and I want to make another line that's the same size, or if I have an angle and I want to make an angle that's the same size. We're also going to talk about perpendicular line bisectors and perpendicular angle bisectors, because we're going to do them later, and it's easier to get it. When you bisect something, you split straight in half. Okay, so a bisector means I'm dividing in half. Okay, so let's talk about constructions. Okay, and I'm going to show you this to the best of my ability, but I don't have tools like you. What?
Is this still 1.1?
This is still 1.1.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's talk about if I want to create a line, okay, off of another line. Like I want a line that's exactly the same length, okay? You see how they have a line segment AB up there, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, on your paper we're going to start with that first number 1 and we're just going to practice off of that. Is it in M maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I have line AB, okay, and I want to create another line that is the exact same size, that's when I need,
We're handy dandy.
yes, which one?
Protractor. No?
Compass.
Compass.
Which one's which?
This one
is the
has
compass.
a line.
That's protractor.
And
You need
this
your
one is
protractor.
circle.
I was right. Protractor. Okay?
Boom.
So here's what you're going to do. I don't have a skinny, well, I do have a skinny marker.
We accept markers in all shapes.
Okay,
and
step 1. You have to draw another line with a straight edge. Make sure you use a straight edge, meaning what?
sizes. The edge of your protractor, the bottom of your protractor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or we used to use our cards last year.
Yeah, either way, I don't care. Just use a straight edge, a ruler.
You were
and-
already out when she gave card marks.
Wait, is this a protractor?
Oh my.
That's a compass.
Really? I thought a compass would make circles like this one does.
Think of it as
No,
like
think
half
of it
of a
just like
circle,
all
and a compass is a circle, so like.
It's, I get them confused. Okay, so if I want to reconstruct this line, I'm first going to start, and you're going to pretend that I have a straight edge up here and I'm making a perfect line, okay? I'm going to start with another line at the bottom, okay? And someplace on it, I'm going to just mark a variable like x. Okay? So right now you want to copy down line NM. So you need to start by first drawing just a straight line.
Same length?
No, you don't measure. Just draw. Do you see how mine is just like way larger than the other one?
If you want it to be
No.
larger?
Do not measure. Listen.
I wanna measure, I just-
Listen. Do not measure. You don't technically have a ruler right now. You don't know how to do that. You don't know what the length of it is. You don't know that it's whatever centimeters or inches. You literally only have this to deal with. Okay? So draw a straight line underneath.
Okay.
Okay. And then you put underneath, beside it, I don't care. And then you put just an X or a Y or any letter you want to represent. Okay? From there, on that line, just anywhere on that line, does not matter where. From there, it's pretty simple. You use your compass.
This is a compass.
This is a compass.
I knew it was a compass. You're doing
It's okay, I was letting you guys argue for a while. You use your compass to measure the length of segment AB that we started with, or segment MN. Meaning you do this. You take one point and you put it here, and you take the other and you go all the way here. You're going to pretend that mine's perfect again. I'm going to make it so that it's perfect. Okay? And you make an arc. Make sure you do not mess with that. Okay?
What?
No. Go to line MN. Not this line. You're measuring line MN with this right now. Measure line MN. Good. And make a little arc. From where? Hold the top of it. Spin it. Like that? No, time out. Did you measure this? Then I need to see an arc over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, first. No. What do you mean it's 1.5?
I mean, I didn't measure it.
Are you saying off of here in case you lose your
Yes.
pass spot? Okay, that's right. Okay, from there, I just have an arc up here on this top one, right? You need to make sure that you keep that compass at the same spot it's at. Now, Chloe's has a spot that tells her the measurements. Does mine have a spot that tells me the measurements?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, so it really depends what type you have. So if Chloe's smart like she was just now, she says, oh,
Never been smart before.
she says 1.5, in case it messes up, she knows to reset it to 1.5, okay? From there, you're going to do step 3, and this sounds like common sense, but you're gonna go down to your line, and you put the tip on your X, and you make another arc. Boom, where that crosses, this segment is now the same length as that segment up there.
That's cool.
And you rename whatever this point is, whatever they tell you. I'm just gonna say Y. So now, line AB and line, or segment AB and segment XY are now congruent.
Okay, so we are.
Wait, question.
Wait.
Why is your guys so fancy? Mine's plastic.
Dude.
Oh Lord, you have to screw yours.
I can get it the other
No, you just have to see, okay, listen, when you go this way, it makes it wider. When you go this way, it makes it skinnier. Okay? So you have to go off of that, and you have to make it so that it's wide enough.
Okay, try.
Got that. And then yours is actually really nice
Yeah.
compared to everybody.
It's
Down here, you
comes in here, just stab
it.
them.
You would go from that area, like I said, and really your line should go through that point. And then that would be how long you're taking this. So if you do from X to here, it's the same length as here. Maybe make sure that when you draw your line, next time you draw it way larger than what you think this top part is. What?
So,
Yes.
So here you put it up in, like that, and then we put an X.
Yep, so our line that we're like reconstructing to make our second line, we're always gonna make that second line way longer than the first line appears to be, so that we have room to work with it. Okay? You're not measuring, you're not trying to just draw the line equal to the other one, I need to see your arc marks. If I don't see your arc marks, it's wrong. Because you didn't construct it the right way, you probably measured it and redrew it. Okay? I need to know that you know how to make these, because we're gonna transfer it to making angles.
Oh, so you make angles with this, the
when I looked it up, it
protractor.
was like, use this, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't learn this.
Okay?
I understand.
So, then we know, as Dora just telling us now, we know that AB is congruent to XY, or in your case, MN is congruent to XY, or whatever letters you chose. Okay? Now, we're gonna come back to perpendicular bisector in a minute. Forget that for a second, let's go to angles, okay? So,
Oh.
skip the perpendicular bisectors, head to the part where it says angles, and let's do the first angle on that page. So, flip it to this back page, and we're going to work with angle RFY, okay? Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, so you're dealing with angle RFY, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your angle is something like this. RFY, okay? Now, over here it says given angle ABS, or given angle RFY, okay? We are going to figure out, with using our compass, how to draw a new angle that's the same measurement, okay? So, from your vertex is what on your angle? That's a vocab word.
The middle, the corner.
The places where they meet.
It's the place, yes, the places where the two rays meet. The corner, yes, but let's get a little bit more specific. Okay? So I'm going to start from that vertex, okay? From point F on yours, okay? You need to use your compass to draw an arc that intersects rays. What rays do we have again? Rays FR and FY, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to use our compass, and you're gonna spread it out. I mean, you want a decent amount. You don't want it larger than the arc, or larger than the angle, and you don't want it smaller than the angle. So you just spread it out, a nice little part, and you're going to, like I said, it's hard to do this on the whiteboard. Make an arc. Okay, you see that? Now, don't touch this measurement. Leave it where it's at. You're gonna need it in a minute. Leave it where it's at. Listen, don't grab down there.
Oh,
Watch, it'll make it easier if you just twist it from. Oh, yeah,
use the
you're-
paper, it's easier to move the paper.
Yeah.
If it's-
It is easier to move the paper. Also, it's easier if your pencil is directly in line.
Oh, good job, Chloe.
It's not her fault. We're all learning how to do this.
Yeah.
Well, this thing is like.
Okay, and move, yeah, if you move the paper, it's much easier, you are correct, it makes it.
Mojo's easier.
Okay, now listen, do you see how my arc continues through the sides?
Yeah.
Make sure yours continues through the sides, I just need, we're making big constructions here, okay? Now, in order to construct another angle, guess what we're gonna start with?
Arc?
Well, arc. How about we start with a straight line underneath? Now,
You were right.
make the line big, remember how I said that, make the line big?
Why, thank you.
Okay.
Really good.
Yes, ma'am. So you're drawing an array underneath.
Where are we at?
Just right by 9.
What?
It says right by it.
Or underneath.
Yeah, right by it, underneath it, whatever. Draw a ray, draw a ray. Okay,
Right on one.
array has, yeah, one endpoint,
One.
okay? See how up here it has X, Y, Z, that's what I'm gonna use just to help us out, so we're gonna make this X, we're gonna make, well, we'll make Z in a minute, we'll make this Y. Draw a ray, label it X, Y. From point X, okay, from point X, you're going to draw an arc with the same radius. Now, why am I going from point X and not from point Y?
Because Y is like it goes on forever.
Because Y is my ray portion, right, that goes on forever. And when I have two, when I create an angle, it's actually two rays that meet, yes?
Yes.
So my point X is going to become what part of my angle?
Vertex.
The vertex.
Vertex.
Good. So I take that same exact measurement and I go from point X and I make an arc. And mine's horrible because I can't control anything on a whiteboard.
It's okay. We're all learning.
Okay, just like that. Thank you, Chloe. So this is my point Z, okay? Now, what do you think we need from there?
Whoa, what is that?
Haha, now look, this
What?
is where it
It
comes in.
looks like
You're going to use that compass again.
bench
Use
cross.
that compass again, okay? To measure, in this case, it says CD from point Z, meaning this, okay? Do you see up here how CD is like this? That was our arc? Okay, so if I take this from here and here, yes?
Yes.
From this part and this part, boom, boom. And I measure it from there, okay? I have the width of what I made, yes? Boom,
Yes.
boom.
Yes.
Then I come to this point that I just created,
Yes.
and I need bigger arcs because mine's not gonna work. And I make another arc like this, boom,
Yes.
okay? And
Mine is
technically,
very large.
this arc should continue up,
Large and in charge. Wait, is it how long?
my arc should continue up through here.
Is it how long? I like my arcs large and in charge.
Okay, so my arc is gonna continue like this, okay, something like this. Like I said, I'm trying to go. You should get it to crisscross. Do you see where it's crisscrosses?
Yes.
Okay, Margot, what's your question?
What are we measuring? Are we measuring this?
You measure this
Yeah,
from
that-
this point to this point.
Oh, okay.
And then you come down here and you take it from point X, is that what I said? No, from point Z, from this
Why I
point.
guess they were doing
Your Fitbit is like part of your personality.
No, I can't find it anywhere.
Okay.
My mom's place
Now,
when
the
you're.
problem is this portion
You're
here
gonna die.
is continue way up into there, so we gotta make our arcs
You're
bigger.
gonna die.
Okay.
No.
How are you gonna time it? Is it or
So,
herpes
once
or
you
how
get
many
that,
steps
you get
taken?
this little cross section,
You won't.
okay? When I get that cross section, now I need to take out a straight edge, okay? And I'm drawing from my vertice, from my vertex, through this point here. Boom, 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 boom.
Dashing through the graph.
I just made a dash because it was easier for me to connect it that way. And now, I have, what is this, Z, X, they named this F. Now I have this angle should be the same measure as that angle. Okay, now listen, on my board, it's not gonna turn out well, because it's gonna look bad. But how can I check to see if they actually came out to the same angle?
Your handy dandy.
Compass.
Pasco. Or you can use your protractor.
How about your protractor? Okay, compass is the one that we're using to make arcs. This is our
You led
protractor.
us astray.
I didn't lead
you
you
led
astray,
yourself astray.
I didn't lead you astray, I just didn't answer. Okay. How do I use this to read stuff? I put the little circle where the vertex is, the vertex right in my circle. If it opens up to the right, okay, if it opens up to the right,
Use the inside number.
I use the inside numbers. If it opens up to the left, I use the
Outside number.
outside numbers, okay? So you can double check your angles to make sure. So if you have this angle here, what is angle RFY?
90.
90 degrees.
90 degrees, beautiful. So then if I come over here, what should it say on your other angle, FX?
90.
It should say 90. If it doesn't say 90, it was our first try. We're gonna get it. If it's
close.
If it's close, that's good, yeah. 89, that's good, that's good. We're trying to learn, okay? So you measure them and see. Margaret, you measure it and double check. That looks good.
Dude, this is too short.
Yours looks good. Trust yourself, you're doing it right. Oh. Okay, questions on that so far? You gotta make lots of arcs, you gotta have lots of fun. We're gonna practice it because I gave you a whole package.
Art class plus math.
Okay, now, we're gonna watch a video before we talk about the bisector stuff, okay?
We're biased.
And I should hook up my speaker, because that would probably be smart. Ashley, can you grab in my desk that top little, nope, right underneath your lap? Thank you. Okay, let's look at how we do bisectors, and then we're gonna do this packet for the rest of the class.
I feel like I've seen that speed here.
Probably kind of see some.
You see? He's crazy.
I'm just trying stuff, it's okay. Okay. Now,
Iconic.
here we go. I don't know how big I can make this.
Time is busy.
Oh, yeah, he's British.
They're so funny.
Okay, this is for perpendicular bisectors and angle bisectors.
All I'm going to do is draw a line, and we're going to create a perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular means that the new line will be at 90-degree right angles to the original line, and bisect means that it's going to cut it in half. All we
Okay, so what we're doing is we're gonna take a line, we're gonna cut it in half, and we're making 90-degree angles. When you have a perpendicular bisector to a line, you create 90-degree angles and you cut the line in half. Understood?
Wait, wouldn't it just be like two really thin 90 degrees?
Maximize.
When I'm taking a line like this and I make the perpendicular bisector, it creates 90, 90, 90, 90.
Oh, I see.
Okay, because it divides the line in half. And how long, what is the line measurement wise?
180.
So if I divide it in half, I have,
90.
Half of 180.
yes, 90, okay?
Oh,
So that's what he's explaining right here.
do is take a compass, and we put the sharp end at one end.
Okay, so you put the sharp end at one end of that line.
Oh, I'm gonna
Just
make a line?
past halfway.
Okay,
What technology is this?
now,
AI?
look at your line where it says create perpendicular bisectors. That should be on the first page. Go to number 5. Okay, you have line LB, yes?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the whole key to creating a perpendicular bisector. It's not hard. You take your compass, you put the sharp end on one end of that L, or at the B, I don't care which end, the sharp end. Now, he specifically said you take your compass and you make it how big? Just past half. It's gotta be bigger than half or it won't work. Okay, so you make it, you stretch it out, just past half. Did it say to mark it yet, Chloe?
No, it didn't. Sorry.
Okay,
My apologies.
no, you're good. So just past half, so measure it out so that it's just past half. Then we're gonna watch what he does,
It's not
okay?
even on the line.
Honey, it still has to be on the line, but just,
You said half and it's 8 inches.
okay, not past half of this, past half of your line. So if I'm gonna do just past half, you gotta eyeball it and say, okay, that's past half. Do you see what I'm saying?
Miss
Okay.
Peters, I don't know what you're talking about. I am never wrong.
Okay.
It's off my paper.
Now,
Swing it up.
once you get it past half, you swing it and you make an arc.
Down.
Okay, do you see how he made the arc massive though? Like it is a half circle, okay? Make that arc a half circle for you. You want room to work. Beautiful, that's good, Abby.
Thank you.
Okay. So you want that arc. Now, do not mess with your compass measurement. Leave it like it is, okay? After you make that arc, do not mess with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how we doing on the first arc, people?
Awesome sauce. Okay.
Oh, terrible.
I know, this is like
tried.
hands-on math, it's way different than before.
I like it a
so-
lot better though.
Okay, now,
Without changing the distance between the
Don't
sharp
change
end
the
of the pencil,
distance.
we pick the compass
Oh,
up
I think
and
I'm
move the
changing
sharp end to the
Now
other
wait, he's gonna
end of
flip
the
it so that the
original
pencil's facing
line.
in.
What I'm now going to do
So
is
flip it.
swing the arc back up and then back round. So at no point,
Okay, so
Oh, it's gonna be
you
so
marked it
complicated.
this way first, right? Boom, 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 you flip it, and you mark it boom, boom, boom. Got it?
On
If
both
you take
sides
off
of the
the
line.
edge
On
of
both
it,
sides.
it's like the Jesus fish.
Okay, yes, so, see how Chloe has hers? You should have something that looks like that. You see how it crosses up top and at the bottom?
So this is
Jesus
the half
fish
circle
line.
Yours is fine.
Jesus fish that.
Yours is fine. Yours just looks different because you made your measurement different than hers. It's fine.
Yeah,
Now-
it's different.
So as long as you have a half circle here and a half circle here and it crosses in two places, you're going to have a perpendicular bisector. Okay? Here's why.
I changed the distance between the
Okay, if
pencil
you change
and
the
sharp.
distance, it's going to mess
We
everything
then
up.
take the compass away and we need to draw with
Now
the
you need a
ruler
straight edge and you
through
put
these
it
two
through
points.
there and you draw your line.
So if I do that, I'm going to end up now with something that looks like so. So
Okay, so you can take your straight edge, you draw your line through those two dots, beautiful.
That kind of messed
No, no, that's fine. So his looks like this, beautiful, okay? That's my perpendicular bisector. I've now created 90-degree angles and I've cut that line into two equal segments,
You're so
okay?
So, why can't we just measure it?
Because sometimes we don't have that ability later on,
Can't.
okay? And we need to know how to do it this way. So like, construction workers use this a lot, architects use this a lot. They're gonna be doing stuff like this, blueprints for the house that was built for you. It's gonna be all done with this type of stuff. Okay,
The house is.
so now you've created your perpendicular bisector. Is that easy for a line?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. You make it more than halfway, arc, switch it, arc, line. Beautiful.
Stop.
It's okay, Margo. It's gonna be okay.
What?
I feel like you're lost. Okay, now, go to the angle ones. We're gonna talk about angle bisectors. Okay?
Hold on.
Number 12, construct a bisector of a given angle. That's
Actually, I don't
next.
like this.
Yeah, why is this way better than algebra?
what we do is go ahead.
'Cause it's
one line,
Okay,
and this
So that's
creates
creating a line bisector. Okay, bisecting a
We can
line.
see that this line is cut in half and we can see that this angle is going to be 90 degrees.
Yes, I can.
We
We like
must
that.
leave the
Can't you
construction
just-
marks on.
Okay,
So
if you do not have construction marks, you do not have it right on your test.
If you rub them
Because
out,
that means you measured and you didn't do what I
so
asked.
that is a perpendicular bisector.
Sounds like you should
What's
be
wrong
doing
with
this.
Let's look at that
I would
to
go
an
with
angle.
Now, let's talk about angle bisectors. Here we
Yes,
go.
Mom.
Acute angle.
Miss McKay.
So if you
Okay,
do
look at
that,
number 12 for
there's
me.
an acute angle.
Okay?
The angle bisector cuts this angle in half. So we're going to have
So when we do an angle bisector, it's cutting the angle in half, meaning it's not necessarily gonna be 90 degrees like a line, right? Because our angles could be 42 degrees, they could be 79 degrees, they could be 12
What if
degrees.
it's still divisible by 2?
Then it's okay, you're gonna have an angle that's like 12.5 degrees.
I
Okay,
forgot about that.
okay. Decimals are okay, fractions are okay, we do like them.
It's mine.
Okay,
and two equal angles.
so now, we have this
I'm going to
angle.
put the sharp end now at the vertex, or if you like, where these two
How is
lines
he so
meet.
smart?
I'm then going to
He's
open
British.
up the compass and I'm going to swing an arc. So what we're looking to do is swing an arc so that it passes through both of these.
Okay, so you just open up your compass, which means Abby and Margot's can look different. Margot could open up her compass larger than Abby, or vice versa, it doesn't matter, okay? But we're gonna get the same result. Result. Okay, so you swing that. Now, don't touch the measurements, okay? Don't ever touch the measurements, just trust me on that, okay?
Don't ever touch the metal.
So we got that. We can swing the arc all the way through both sides, yes? Okay, now next.
lines. Without changing the compass, I'm going to pick it up and move it now to one of the points of intersection with the arc and the line.
Okay,
I'm now going to swing another arc, so all we're going to do is now swing an arc here. At this stage,
okay, so you literally take your compass, you don't change measurements, and you put it at one of those intersections and swing your arc, yes? Okay, good, that's good, Glenn.
Yeah.
I pick the compass up and move it to the other
Now
point
go
of
to the
intersection.
other intersection of your
Without
arc,
changing this distance,
don't change the
we go
distance
ahead
still,
and swing
and
this
swing an
arc.
arc. Okay? So you pick it up, you put it on the other, and you swing an arc. You should get it where those two arcs cross together, yes?
Yes. It kind of looks like a sad face. And That's the nose.
That's okay.
It's like,
Sad boy.
Sad
Shy
boy.
boy.
Little shy
boy. He's really cute dog. We named him Shy
So
Boy.
they cross, yes? What do you think we're gonna do with that point where they cross?
Take a straight edge and go boom.
Yeah, take a straight edge.
We're
We're
genius.
gonna take a straight edge and we're gonna put it at the
Whoa.
vertex and we're going to measure it and make a little line,
What
okay?
we're looking for now is this point of intersection.
So we want that point
Once
of
I've created
intersection.
that, I get a ruler and a pencil,
I
and
get a
I
ruler.
draw
and
through
pens.
the vertex,
Beautiful.
like so, and then with a point of intersection, and
So you get a ruler, you get your straight edge or your ruler, whatever it is, and you take it and line it up and you draw it from the vertice through that point. And now you've divided that angle into 2 equal segments.
Wow.
Okay?
Can't you just like